What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Ridge here to talk some MLB prop plays over on Prizepicks for Wednesday, April the 12th. We have a great slate today. Dinger Tuesday was yesterday, and today we have my favorite pitcher on the hill. Let's get into it right after the intro.
He's got it! What a catch by Mookie Betts.
A lot of names that if you're not a Pirates fan,
We are diving back into the hitter fantasy score well because I just do not understand what Prizepicks is doing. We will get into Ryan Mountcastle in a minute and what the Baltimore Orioles could do tonight, but Brandon Lowe looks to be in a really good spot up against Chris Sale. Chris Sale, for everything he is, I don't think he's going to have a very good start. The Rays are the best team in baseball right now. They are undefeated, and Brandon Lowe has homered in 4 straight games. His total bases are set at 0.5. Make that make sense. He's been averaging 4.8 over his last 7 days. So, yeah, I'm happy to take over 0.5, even against Chris Sale. Lowe is a lefty, but I still think he can have success. He has no history against Sale, and the Rays should put up some pretty good numbers. Sale did not look good in his first start. I'd be willing to bet he doesn't look good in his second one in the Trop either. And this leads me to Wander Franco as well, a player I would consider his hitter fantasy score at 7. And honestly, I was initially looking at fading Franco because Franco was a lefty, doesn't hit very well against lefties. But then you go look, dude is 4 for 6 with a home run and 2 RBIs against Chris Sale in his career. I mean, how am I fading that? I've just, again, Franco's been so hot. Been loving what he's been doing. He had a really bad year last year, but on fire to start the season along with basically every Ray on the roster. If you want to play Franco, he's kind of a lower priority play for me, but I think that they are in a great spot to put up a lot of runs, and if they can get Sale out of the game early, then that sets everything up for those hitters again, because that bullpen is taxed. They allowed 11 runs yesterday. I believe 4 players hit home runs. They got the starter out relatively early, so they're going to struggle, and they still have another game to play in Tampa on Thursday, so we'll see what happens with that Boston bullpen, and Sale needs to give them length, and if he can't, if he really struggles, which there's a good chance he has, because nobody outside of their very first game has really played well against this Tampa Bay team. They've been just on fire, leading the league in home runs, run differential, all this stuff. Like, they are just such a talented roster and playing at such a high level. You don't want to fade the Rays, and I think that Franco's hitters fantasy score is in a good spot to where I would be willing to take it. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen in Baltimore today, because this pitcher, Ken Waldichuk, is basically the worst pitcher in baseball. He allows 7.2 home runs per 9 innings. He hasn't even pitched 9 innings in 2 starts, and he's given up 7 home runs in not even 9 innings. It is unthinkable to imagine what could happen today in Oriole Park, because, again, he played against the Rays and he allowed 5 home runs, just him, to the Tampa Bay Rays when he played against them a few days ago in his last start. That A's bullpen is taxed. They got shredded yesterday. They allowed 12 runs. Ryan Mountcastle had 9 RBIs. Count that. Tied a franchise record, 9 RBIs. It's going for a 3rd straight game with a home run. He is on fire right now, on fire, and playing against one of the worst pitchers in baseball who gives up tons of home runs. There will be runs in this game, and the Orioles should find a lot of success against Waldichuk, just like the Rays did a few days ago. And then as well, I love the righties against Eduardo Rodriguez on the Toronto Blue Jays. Bo Bichette homered yesterday. Vlad could have had 3 home runs, but he just got under a couple of balls, and I think tonight is the night he finally breaks out against Erod. It's a great spot. Both bat over 300. Bo has a home run against Erod in 7 at-bats, so that's great history as well. I'm taking both these guys for their fantasy score. Bo should be in a good spot. I think that Vlad can get it done. He didn't even have a hit yesterday. He only has 2 games where he didn't have a hit. Most of his games, I believe like 8 of his 10 or 8 of his 12 games, he has multi-hit appearances. So he's hitting the ball hard, and 50% of his at-bats, he's in a great spot. All of these hitters are in great spots. Bichette and Guerrero, the righties against Erod, are great spots. If you want to take Springer, I don't hate that either. I think he's in a great spot. He homered yesterday. The Jays hit like 5 home runs. The bottom of their order was hitting home runs yesterday, and it should be even easier against Erod tonight because he is not good. Ken Waldichuk is not good. And in my opinion, Chris Sale is not going to find success against the best team in baseball. These are the guys you want to take. Brandon Lowe over his total bases at 0.5. Wander Franco as kind of my lowest priority play over his hitter fantasy score at 7. Ryan Mountcastle, probably my highest play over his hitter's fantasy score at 7.5. Bo Bichette over his hitter fantasy score at 7.5. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over his hitter's fantasy score at 8.5. Austin Hayes, Adley Rutschman, Santander is the guy that I'm like, I want to believe, and I think he could have a great game against Waldichuk. He just hasn't been playing that well. But Hayes, Mountcastle, and Rutschman have been on fire for the Orioles. And if they do show up, they're not in the model right now. They're not in Prizepicks right now. As the last time I ran it was only Santander and Mountcastle. I'm kind of iffy on Santander. You could play him. He's like I said, Waldichuk's awful. Great spot. You want to take the Orioles. I think you can trust the Jays. And then as well, I think the Rays can really get after Sale today. So I'm willing to run some of those guys as well. If you tailgate Prizepicks hell, and if we fail, do not bail. Make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for all future content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Good luck tonight, and I'm out. Peace.
He's got it! What a catch by Mookie Betts.
A lot of names that if you're not a Pirates fan, you probably don't
He's
know.
the closest thing we've seen to Mike Trout.
Yeah, the best team in the American League.
The Yankees have the most intimidating lineup in baseball.